research was based on exploring why churches and businesses didn't have an effective way to align people's spiritual gifts with what they were doing vocationally or as well as in ministries. So I took that and I dug deeper into it. I isolated the questions that needed to be asked to how do we collect that kind of data. And then in going through that, I used a flexible design with a single case study method, and I went through and used triangulation methods and strategies so that I could ensure that the results were reliable and that researcher bias wasn't affected or was at least minimized, and then explored through interviews and traditional spiritual gifts tests and Tika Meadows surveys, how to collect that data. This gave me triangulation and duplicate sources. So what we found then was that traditional spiritual gifts tests were good for use, but not great for use. And using the top 3 gifts was usually better and more applicable for job placement positioning, whereas the traditional or the Tika Meadows surveys were better for long-term tracking of fruits of the Spirit, which would better isolate where people were. The mass majority of spiritual gifts tests that are being used in churches to this day are maybe 40 to 50% accurate and aligning people with jobs and roles and ministries that they're just not gifted at. And unfortunately, that can lead to people leaving the church altogether and leaving their faith. And that's not something that we want to see in churches or in jobs, because onboarding an employee is expensive, but onboarding another employee to replace them is even more expensive. And this research allows a decision support system that will help business leaders save money.